Hello, and thank you for coming back for Three Frosted Mugs, a Fiat Entertainment Group production. I'm Rodney, here with Chad.
Hello, Steven.
And Conway.
Hello, Steven.
Our producer, Matt, is also here. And before we start, we'd like to thank AJ Studios for the post-production and graphics work. Thank you so much. All right, so how's everyone doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be back for episode 2.
Yeah.
You doing well too, Conway?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Good. Awesome. So a lot of things have happened since our first episode, but something I'd like to start with, or open with, if you will, the Open Championship. Did we all catch a little bit of that over the past weekend?
Oh, yeah, definitely. 4 a.m. every morning.
I got up.
I mean, it's the best time to watch it.
I got up 4 a.m.
I mean, every year like clockwork, it comes around, and I mean, we're up, alarm set, we're up watching the Open.
I mean, they cover it from 4 a.m. until 7 o'clock that night. That's awesome.
It's really different than the Masters, huh?
The Masters, you get about 2 hours and 20 minutes of coverage.
Right. My favorite line is bringing you 50 minutes out of every hour of hot golf action. Okay, so what were your initial thoughts about the Open? Which, by the way, when my alarm went off at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, my initial actual swear to the Lord words came out of my mouth. Why is this going off so early? And then I realized what day it was.
Well, I think any questions that there were, I remember when Rory choked, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago at the Masters?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, since he's won 3 majors since then, all the talk of him, the talk of him not being able to close the deal is gone. I mean, when you lead wire to wire, not just in any normal golf tournament, a major championship, let alone the British Open, I mean, that says a lot right there.
Do you think he had any sort of advantage from being from Ireland and probably working on those types of courses most of his childhood?
No, not at all. I mean, he's already said he does not like playing links golf. That is not his favorite setting to play golf.
Really?
But
Okay.
it was his dream to win the British Open.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
that's the major that he really wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, the bigger story is his dad winning $300-some thousand.
Yeah, his dad, for more than one reason, was his biggest fan on
Right.
Sunday.
Do we know where that bet started or where it came? I mean, was he like a 15-year-old or?
He was 15 years old. He put the bet down for $340.
I saw it in pounds. It was like 200
Yeah.
pounds, whatever that is.
Yeah, I had
the
to
ratio.
calculate out of the
No, that's $340. Yes,
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
and he won like 170 grand.
Yeah, one of the bets
gosh.
was it was like 250 to 1 that he'd win it before the year 2015, and then it was like 150 to 1 that he'd win it before he was 50.
So here's my question though: where is he making this bet? Like, where are those standards being set as far as dates and times?
Well, now golf is huge. Like as far as betting golf, when you go over in the British Open and you go over to Scotland and over anywhere in England, betting on golf is real huge over there. I guess as of late, I think it's probably been 3 or 4 years. The guys, when they go to play, have to sign a waiver saying they will not bet on golf.
Really?
And this has just happened within the last couple of years.
I didn't know
like
that.
Peter, whoever the executive of the RNA, Peter Dawson, whatever his name is, has just something that's been new. Just because guys, like gambling, especially Phil's an action junkie. Phil's a known gambler.
So was he? You think he was gambling on himself during all those
I
times?
think
or-
a lot of guys.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's nothing uncommon. Whether it goes from the guy, Phil has his famous group that guys like Ricky and Keegan play in, where in their practice rounds they have matches going on. So
sure.
it's nothing uncommn.
But
think-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you think Tiger bet on himself?
Tiger's got enough money; he can bet on whatever he wants.
He bet on everybody.
If he was smart, he probably bet on someone else, I'd imagine.
But I will tell you one thing. Looking back on this now, if anybody knows me knows that Tiger's my boy. I'm a huge Tiger fan. In the big tournaments, if Rory McIlroy keeps driving the ball like he does, he is unstoppable. This guy right here, especially major tournaments, you got to be long and straight. He hits it just as long and straight as anybody on tour, and the guy's not scared to hit that shot.
Was he a PGA tournament champion last year? Is that when he won the PGA?
He won it like Kiel Island, I think it was.
I'm just curious. Do you think he could come back in the next major and be a force to be reckoned with and pull that sort of lead like he did this past weekend? He had the lead the entire time.
He entered a group who's in this group? Tiger Woods and
Jack
Nicklaus. The youngest to win 3 majors. He's to me. That's you've already entered into the Hall of Fame right there. Winning majors are the biggest thing in golf. You can have so many tournaments or whatnot, but when you start winning majors, that's the tournaments everybody wants to win.
Yeah, guys set up their schedule for major championships.
Right.
I'd like to know your thoughts on Rory, because I know you weren't exactly rooting for him over the weekend, and I'd just like to know why that was.
I changed my direction a little bit where, for me, you always have to root for somebody or root against something in sports, know. So in golf, you always root for the Americans. You got the Ryder Cup, you got this. So, of course I'm rooting for Ricky Fowler on Sunday.
Who played really good.
I mean, Ricky Fowler's off the charts right now.
He shot in the 60s all weekend.
I mean, he
couldn't win.
This year, he showed up for every major. I mean, what, second place finishes in
I'm
the top
to
5?
I think he's leading in under par in the major championships this year. But that's just a testament for what you said, how good Ricky played, is how good Rory played all 4 days.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Rory is, seeing his background and where he came from, you don't see that a whole lot in golf.
Well, what was that? Tell me his background a little bit.
I mean, his dad worked 100 hours a week, just for him to have the money to send him to, junior golf championships and send him to the U.S. where, the golf was more popular here than somewhere else, or the tournaments, especially in the junior division. And his mom would work, midnight shifts, 80 hours a week, just to have the money to put on that.
So no silver spoon in his mouth. Yeah.
No, not at all. And at the age 15, you think your son's good enough to place bets on him and just take your whole time for his career, and it's worked out like this. I mean, it should be a movie.
They had aces pre-flop and went all in.
Exactly.
They went all in on him.
Well, and just to talk a little bit about more about Rory, just a thought. Chad, what tournament was it that he pulled out early in and he claimed it on? What was it? His finger or his nail?
I think that was the Honda.
Was it the Honda Classic? Is that what it is?
I think it was the Honda that you're talking about.
Yeah. So, and I know golf. I haven't been playing it very long, but I know golf is the gentleman's game, and I know there's a lot of honor in golf. Do you think that really mattered that he did something like that? Do you think that's a tarnish at all, or is that just being human?
Guys do that. I mean, but when guys do it that are not named Tiger, Phil, Rory, nobody, it's not a big deal.
You don't hear about it.
But but when these guys do it, it's like, oh gosh, was it just because he was 5 over, 4 over? Now don't get me wrong, these guys don't want to go out and get embarrassed. So if it is something, let's say the guy's got it going, and he's 4 or 5 under par in a round, he may suffer through it more than if he was 5 or 6 over par and no contention for the golf tournament. Because again, if there, it's more bad than good that'll come out of it in that situation.
Right.
Talking about Rory's family, they're definitely no wine drinkers. I mean, if you're gonna pour Jaeger into the claret jug.
Well, most of those guys over there from Ireland, or Darren Clark, or any of those guys, from the European guys. I mean, Lee Westwood. You think he drinks wine?
They're
I'm sure he probably pounds
as a
it.
mug.
They're definitely thirsty.
Yeah, that was an interesting drink choice for the claret jug. Man, that's how do you even clean that out? I was just wondering because I mean, Jaeger is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry.
You just tilt the cup up for like 20 minutes and just let it drain out.
Get every last drop.
That's how you clean that out.
I want to talk a little bit about Sunday because Sunday was one of those situations where, you have players who are technically in contention, right? But a lot of that has to do with how Rory plays. And Rory obviously was pretty much lights out. I think, he had 2 bogeys that day? Is that right?
Yeah, a couple.
He
couple
had
bogeys?
2 back-to-back bogeys.
Yeah.
And looked like he was opening the door a little bit. Teed off on the par 3. I think the bogeys were 6 or 7. I can't remember. But teed off on the par 3, hit it into the bunker. And was like, okay, the door's open again. Let's go, Ricky. Let's go, Sergio. Whoever's there. And gets up there and hits one of the best sand shots of the day. Taps in for par. Cruise control the rest of the way out.
And speaking of Sergio, and I think he was the one who pulled in the closest, right, with like 2 strokes, if I'm not mistaken, to the lead at one point.
At one point.
Did you see his shot? I think it was number 12 when it went far right and hit off of the bleachers.
And he got a little lucky there.
I mean, that was very similar to how I play.
And that was probably one of the shots he came out of the most. I mean, for the most part, it was a real solid day. I remember thinking, all right, because they had mentioned that he hadn't looked at the leaderboard. And I remember thinking, if he looks at the leaderboard, then he's done. He's going to realize how close he is and what Rory's doing. But they had mentioned that then he did look up at the leaderboard when he was within 2, and he played some really good golf. I mean, I'll give it to Sergio. I don't care. I don't care what he said when he said, I guess a couple years ago, that he doesn't think he's as good, to win a major championship. You could tell that look in his eyes, and when he started making a couple putts, he wants that golf tournament. So, and here's my bold prediction for the year. Sergio comes back, wins the PGA at Valhalla this year.
Wow.
Him and Ricky Fowler in the final group.
That'd be it wouldn't surprise me to see either one of those guys there. Now, Sergio had that, I guess famous battle with Tiger, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago when Sergio was a young, brash, 19-year-old Spaniard coming up there.
Running down the fairway.
Yeah,
following the shot.
he likes that golf course. He's been there before. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see him in contention come Sunday on the back nine.
Valhalla? Is that what you said?
Valhalla.
I'm pretty sure I've played that on Tiger Woods Golf. I'm fairly certain. Not 100%, but I'm
Did you
fairly
break
certain.
par?
Well, no, I tend to stick with Waialae. I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
Waialae.
I like Waialae. It's an easy course. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Well, the two exciting things that happened from the first day, I mean, how about Ernie just hitting somebody right in the
face.
jaw?
Right in the face.
I mean, it was on number one, right?
Yeah.
It was his opening tee shot.
Opening T-ball.
Must have been an 85-year-old person as well, because I'm pretty sure they were really old when.
And we can't. Who played with Tiger on the first day? Was that who broke their club
God.
over their knee?
Oh, Henrik Stenson.
Yeah.
Him and El Pato.
Did you happen to see that?
Uh-uh.
I mean, he got caught up in the rough, hit the ball, it went 5 feet or whatever, and his caddy was just standing there waiting for his club, and he definitely broke it over his knee like Bo Jackson and handed 2 pieces back to him.
Did he really?
It was pretty
awesome.
classic. They used it later in a promo, like in the middle of the weekend.
And he's not a huge guy, so I'm sure if he tried it like Bo Jackson to do a baseball bat, he probably would have shattered his knee, and he would have had to withdraw right there on the spot.
Definitely.
Here's my big question, Chad. When did they stop calling it the British Open?
Well, the Americans call it the British
Yeah.
Open.
I mean, I call it the British Open, but no one
Because
else
you're
does.
American.
yeah, to the world,
Yeah.
it's the Open.
Yeah, the Open Championship.
To us, the Open's the United States Open.
Well, then,
But we still call that the
ESPN
US
must be over there. I mean, they must not be from America then, because they never called it the British Open, not once.
Well, isn't
Well,
the
they're all
British
about
Open,
ratings, so I don't listen to what they
The
say.
British Open is more just like a colloquial thing, right? So they're going to call it by its official name. They're not going to call it the British Open.
And the Claret Jug, next, you got the Masters, obviously. I mean, the green jacket, very special. And then the Claret Jug is probably next on the list. If the players on tour had to rank, the majors in order of, which one they would like to win, it'd be 1A and 1B between slipping on the green jacket and drinking a Guinness or Jaeger out of the Claret Jug.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they'd love to win the U.S. Open and, the PGA, but, those two would definitely rank 1A, 1B.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And all right, so speaking of Tiger, this was his second appearance since he was, on hiatus, and didn't perform. He performed better than that in Congressional. I mean, he made the cut, obviously, but did not perform up to that Tiger level, and that has called into question of a lot of whether Tiger should be included in the Ryder Cup. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on that. I mean, obviously Tiger, came about and created a whole buzz about golf and pretty much changed the whole face of golf from when he started to now.
From a viewing standpoint, you're going to have Tiger. Let's not, right now, Tiger Mania hasn't died down. For the people that don't, regularly watch golf, they'll tune in to see what Tiger's doing. If Tiger was there on Sunday in the last couple groups, I'm sure that you'll have more people watching. He attracts more people. He draws more people. He's the face of golf.
Yeah.
But for the individuals that have been watching golf, and right now in the last couple of years, there's been some great golf going on.
You got a lot of different guys winning majors.
Yeah, and it's you got different people winning. You got young kids coming up winning. Ricky Fowler could be one of the coolest guys on the face of the earth. I mean, his Puma hats are awesome.
And you love cool guys because Bryce Harper's your boy. I mean, you don't care how they perform, just look cool.
Look cool, be cool. I like it. Cool as a mug.
And cool as a mug.
Well, and do you what do you think Tiger's biggest problem was? You watched obviously, and I consider you an expert. So what's your opinion, Chad, as far as Tiger's performance? What's he missing? Is it mental? Is it his short game?
Well, you mentioned not up to Tiger standards. He made the cut in the major championship. Now, this if somebody was not Tiger Woods, you made the cut in the major championship. You got a paycheck. Okay, great. This was Tiger's second tournament back from back surgery. Mm-hmm. He didn't just have hangnail or something. He didn't have turf toe.
Right.
He had major surgery.
This is the segment that Chad makes excuses for Tiger.
Gosh, I'm going to try.
Everyone tune in.
I'm definitely going to try. So I definitely think. Not to say what he said, but he's getting faster. He's getting stronger. He's only going to get better. But one thing is for sure: if he cannot hit the driver, he's not going to win a major championship. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, he can hit. He didn't have to hit his driver at all on day one. I don't even know. He may have hit it once. I don't know. I don't think he hit it at all. And he played terrific. the wind picked up and he had to hit driver on Friday. I mean, he didn't know where the heck the golf ball was going. Yeah. So if he can't hit driver, major championships aren't forgiven like, just regular golf tournaments. You can't spray it wherever you want and hit it onto a green and expect it to stay. So
you got to hit those fairways, and you got to get on the green.
Well, Bubba drove the ball great at the Masters. I mean, look what Rory did. I mean, you've got to drive the golf ball well to win a major championship.
So let me ask you: do you put Tiger in the Ryder Cup, or do you leave him off? I mean, what's your if you're Tom Watson?
I don't know if he's got until Tiger's going to play in 2 weeks at Bridgestone. Then 2 weeks from then he's going to play in the PGA. I don't know when. I guess the cutoff is to make that pick, but he's got 2 tournaments to play better to show Tom Watson something. As of right now, he didn't play like Tiger, but I don't think he played horrific. He drove the ball horrific, which put him into some bad positions. But I'd say give him these next couple tournaments, let him get a little more healthier, even though he doesn't have that wince that he used to have. Whenever you saw him swing the golf club, that he's wincing and in dire pain.
Oh yeah.
I'd give him 2 more tournaments, see how it is. If he plays like this and he's not up to, because we've won like twice since like 1995, the Ryder Cup. So we want to have the best out there.
Yeah.
Right now we're getting destroyed in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it's but physically you think he's fine. He's just got to work on some things since he's just coming back. And
well, one thing's for sure is no matter how he's feeling, he's never going to be honest. If he's in terrible pain right now, he's not going to tell you. He's only going to tell you what he wants you to know.
Well,
sure.
And I think golf is sort of like you hear everybody say when someone's coming off, an injury, say in football, and he's in shape, but he's not in football shape yet.
Yeah.
Tiger can go out there and play golf, but he's just not in tournament shape yet. It's he's got to, like you said, he's got to stay in play. He's got to stay on the fairways, and I think that just comes from coming. I mean, just
time,
right?
Yeah.
You can't sit there and just go out there for a few practice rounds. It's a lot different than going out there and playing in the tournament.
But you both feel like Tiger has a place in the Ryder Cup. I mean,
what I would do is I would take a week off and I would have Lindsey Vonn give me a massage every day that I'm away from golf, and I think everything would be better.
I kind of wish that Tiger would just come out and borrow some pants from John Daly and start wearing some of John Daly's pants.
Speaking of pants, did y'all see the pants I had sent over? Dude, they're perfect for you. They're Loudmouth Golf. They're Pabst Blue Ribbon pants.
Oh, I think I looked at them. They're like $250.
Oh, God.
They're so expensive.
I didn't look that deep into it. That is all you.
That whole group that makes those pants, man, they are all expensive. And if I were better at golf, I'd put that time. I haven't even paid that much for my clubs. I don't think I could pay that much for my pants.
Your pants are worth more than your TaylorMade.
I don't think that would work out real well.
That's funny.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well, we're going to take a little break and hopefully get some shoulder massages from Lindsey Vonn. And then we'll be right back. Talk some NBA free agency and whatever else we want to talk about.
Very true.
John Daly's pants.
Or John Daly's pants. Hey, and we are back from our imaginary break. Just kidding. We really took a break, but you probably didn't. So we wanted to move into some NBA free agency. And who would like to start us off with that topic?
What voice was that?
I don't know. I got nervous.
I got
really nervous. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I got so scared.
We had an auction all this? I mean, what was that?
No, if we were at an auction, who wants to talk about that? Yeah, NBA.
He brought us back to Harry Carey voice.
Hey!
Harry.
Hey, Conway, you want to go ahead and start this segment?
Sure. Well, I mean, we're automatically going to start with the Wizards, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's our home team. Absolutely.
I mean, other than Cleveland, I guess they're favored to finish in the top. They have to be favored to finish in the top 3 in the East. Am I wrong?
I mean, paper says you're right, I guess.
I mean, they do have the Summer League MVP.
Yeah.
That is true. That
you know
is
how important that is, because the Sacramento Kings just won?
And obviously you're referring to Glenn Rice Jr.?
Correct.
Glenn Rice Jr. was named MVP for the Summer League. How important is that, by the way?
It's not at all.
Really? Like, not...
I've watched probably 30 seconds of Summer League games in my last 10 years of life.
Well, I have watched more this year than I've ever watched before because I did want to watch Glenn Rice and Porter play. But, they're playing against guys that, I mean, not a whole bunch of them is going to be starters,
Right.
But this is what we need. The Wizards need a bench. You need a bench to win. I mean, if you don't have LeBron, you need a bench. Even when you have LeBron, you need a halfway decent bench.
I don't care about. I don't care about summer league. You're playing against guys that are not even going to be playing. I think this means nothing. They could go to the local YMCA.
It means a lot to the Wizards fans.
Yeah,
we finally made the playoffs.
I mean, do you think it's promising? No, it's a good thing, right?
No, I don't care anything about the summer league.
Nothing. So if Glenn Rice Jr. came up to you right now, if Glenn Rice Jr. came up to you right now and said, "Hey, brother, look at my MVP award,"
I would say, I don't care.
I'm gonna say, can you be a guest on the Three Frosted Mugs? That's what I'm gonna say.
I would say, you know what? We were just talking about how good how good you were in summer league. And can we get tickets to next year's summer league?
And then he'll say, "Oh man, I'm gonna check out that episode," and then he'll see all your comments.
Yeah, then we're done.
Then where are we? Where do we find ourselves?
Hey, also Porter made the All NBA Summer League team. You know, Chad hates talking about it, but we're building. We're building.
Yeah.
Now back to free agency. I had to say my little Wizards part, and
well, here you go. One thing I'm gonna say, if we're gonna talk about the Wizards. Talking about, we get Paul Pierce in here, lose Trevor Ariza, losing a little bit on defense. The only reason that I'm going to be happy with this is if Paul Pierce comes in here and realizes you're not the man on this team. You're going to bring in some veteran leadership. You're going to be another option in scoring, but you're not the number one man on this team. You're not even the number two man on this team.
Do you think, because I don't know the exact amount, but he took a lot less than what he may have gotten somewhere else, right? To come here? Is that right?
2 years, 11 mil. I mean, roughly, I guess, something like that.
Is that somewhere, like that in itself, does that set that standard for a player? Does that say to a player?
A guy like Paul Pierce, his whole career, he came in, through the Celtics, and then when he went on to the Nets, he's been the guy.
The truth.
So he has been the truth. So a guy like that, it may be a little tough for him to come in here and take a backseat to these young bucks, but he needs to understand that's what he has to do for the Wizards team to play good.
See, I'm hoping he'll come in and like London Fletcher was to the Skins. You know what I mean? Like bring that veteran leadership and hopefully rub.
But
off
he
on
was
some
the man
others.
on defense, though.
Right.
I mean,
yes, that is true.
I mean, that's a big difference there.
Well, I mean, everybody talks about that he's old. I mean, he's the same age as me, but I mean that's old in basketball.
He's a little more agile than you, but yeah,
just a tad. But for him to come to the Wizards, I mean, he knows what's going on there. He's got to know that he's going to be the third scoring option. I mean, he's got to know that. But like you said, the leadership, winning the rings. I mean, I couldn't be more excited.
So would he be your top free agent coming to the Wizards? Because I mean, don't we have do we trade for Humphreys? We traded for Humphreys.
Well, he's definitely better than Humphreys. Now, Humphreys is good. Don't get me wrong. He's going to give you some good, solid minutes as a backup, which they need. But Paul Pierce is on a totally different level than Chris Humphreys.
Oh, definitely.
Paul Pierce isn't a Kardashian.
That's true.
I mean, that's one plus.
But
Humphreys
I bet Kim would date him.
Yes.
There is no question.
He may have.
They're good. Hey, Chris Humphreys will bring up the women viewing a lot more.
That is true. Now, what do you think? It's a good upgrade? Would you rather have Ariza still, or would you rather have Paul Pierce?
I think I'd rather have Paul Pierce.
Why?
I just would, just because Ariza's numbers, he shot off the charts this year. We couldn't afford to keep Ariza, what he was getting. I think what the Wizards have done with the salary cap, and everybody's talking about it, set themselves up to make a run. You know who?
Oh,
Who
yeah.
they're gonna make a run
I'm
for.
talking Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Kevin Durant.
Now, and I know everybody wouldn't even fathom that, but that's what they're saying.
Everybody is fathoming it.
Well,
That's the thing.
If they play
Everybody
good this
wants
year,
it to happen.
it's a reality.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping that they do. And I just don't understand. How did we get Paul Pierce without Kevin Garnett? Why did Kevin Garnett not
I thought
come
they were
along
a
with
package
Paul Pierce?
deal.
I thought they were always
Do you know
package
how
deal.
happy I would be a season ticket holder of the Wizards because
Yeah.
that's my favorite player.
But the
next to
only-
Larry Bird, that might be my second favorite player of all time.
The only thing I'm upset about is, Trevor Booker, I think he was a force to be reckoned with when he came off the bench. He always contributed, and when he was what's the word I'm looking for? When you come off the bench, he was just...
You're a bench player.
I mean,
I don't know.
That is the word, I think, bench
he gave him that spark.
He gave
him that spark.
Oh,
He was
gotcha.
a great six man.
Gotcha. Okay, he was the spark
He
of
was
the
more
team.
like the 7th, 8th, 9th man, but whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a definite thought in my mind. Oh, it was Randy Whitman. So Randy Whitman, he was extended to a 3-year contract, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? I just wanted to know what your thoughts were in relation to players like Glenn Rice Jr. and Otto Porter and the development of those players, because I don't know too much about how the effect of that many years is going to have on the team, but my assumption would be he's going to be the one developing these kids and developing this team over the next 3 years.
You spend a high draft pick on Otto Porter. You need him to play well starting this year.
Right.
Now you don't need him to come in there and be an all-star this year, but you need good solid minutes out of him. You didn't draft him high. You can't have him turn out to be another Jan Vesely.
But do you think Whitman is a good fit for what a player like Otto Porter needs to develop into that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whitman's one of the best things that's happened to the Wizards in a while.
Yeah, his whole demeanor.
What was it? Exit
Just the
Flip
way-
Saunders, enter Randy Whitman, and look what happened with us.
Well, those guys look like they want to play for him.
Yeah, and that's what you need. I don't care how good a coach you are. If nobody wants to play for you. It doesn't matter.
It does feel a little bit like the Bad News Bears. Like like Walter Matthau came in and now everyone wants to play.
Walter Matthau.
Oh my! Did you just say Walter Matthau on the show?
I did. I guess I could have said what was it, Billy
Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. He was the last one.
Y'all keep talking. I want to look at my producer's Facebook page, because there is a lot of women that he keeps scrolling through, and he won't slow down any, so I can't really see them.
Is he on Facebook or Twitter?
He's on Facebook.
I'm currently communicating with AJ Studios, so please do continue, gentlemen.
I think I know the president of
That's
AJ
our producer
Studios.
/ president, Matt.
Good evening.
Take out Frosty.
He's got a lot of hot women on Facebook. I've been married for 72 years, so I like to look at other people's Facebooks.
I like to look at your wife's Facebook.
All right. Well, I'm gonna enact my job here and try to keep us on track a little bit. What's the update on Parsons? He went to the Rockets, right? Chandler Parsons.
Right. How much do you want to talk about Chandler Parsons?
Not very much. I just realized as I was saying it, not very much. Just trying to stir this up here.
I mean, how
what
are we
other
talking
top
about
free agents?
Well, we haven't even talked about LeBron.
Everyone in the world's been talking about LeBron.
Well, so we need to.
What are your thoughts about LeBron?
My thought is that how did Cleveland turn into the spot where everybody wants to go? Why is that the hotbed of sports right now?
Because it's the dog pound.
I mean, it's probably 22 degrees there right now in the middle of July. They probably are in the forecast. They probably have snow tonight.
Did you say Chandler Parsons? Hold on. Did you say he was with the Rockets? Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, he
They
left
picked
the
him up.
Rockets.
Yeah, the
and went
Rockets
to the
didn't
Mavericks.
exercise his option.
That's what it is. I can't read my own notes.
That's all right.
Sorry.
I had to double check myself before I had to spit it out there. But
Oh
yeah.
no, please do that definitely because I don't.
Yeah, when he was tweeting pictures with Mark Cuban.
Yeah, they were hanging out. That's right. They went on a little party.
So would you just love to play for Cuban? Have you seen their locker room?
Yes.
Like everybody has a flat screen.
He's
Everybody
just
has their
some-
own maid.
I just want to hang
whatever.
out with him.
Yes, he'd be cool to hang out.
I feel like it'd be
Yes.
like one of us owning a team. Like it would
I
just
feel
be
like you're on a borderline getting ready to get in a fight every time you would go out with Mark Cuban somewhere.
Here's the
but
thing.
he's got the best lawyers around, so you would be okay.
I'd be the best owner in the league.
I would sucker punch everybody I didn't like that day I hung out with him.
Doesn't he seem like the biggest
Why'd he hit me?
fan
Mark
owner?
Cuban.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's like a fan. I mean, he's almost down on the floor watching these games.
Well, that's what he was. I think he was just some rich, guy. I don't know what he did, like
He made his
software
money
or whatever.
Off of, .coms or something.
And then
I
he
think
decided
so.
to buy-
Then he said, "I'm about the Dallas Mavericks."
Yeah. I mean, how
Gosh.
great would that be if you
That's
just
awesome.
started something, sold it for? You know what? I'm gonna go buy the Washington Redskins.
You know what? That's a 5-year
board.
plan of mine.
That's what the nerd did that bought the Washington Redskins. He definitely didn't make all his money running Johnny Rockets restaurants. they did have some money milkshake.
I'm gonna go buy the Richmond Squirrels.
I hope you do because I would definitely want season tickets.
Please.
Hey, if you ever been to a Richmond Squirrels game,
Not
it's
since they became the Squirrels.
very entertaining. I mean, a lot of times they have wrestlers there. I saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan there.
Did he go? Oh,
He did.
Was he just attending the game or was he
No,
like
it was-
special guest?
He was a special guest there.
Say you were working tickets, and you were, for the Richmond Squirrels, you were working the ticket counter, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan came through and had his 2x4 with him. You would have to let the 2x4 in too, right?
I'd feel safer.
But if a normal guy named Ted Smith came through with the 2x4, you would not let him come in with it, right?
I'm sorry, who are you? I'm Ted Smith, and this is my 2x4.
I'm not gonna be able to. But if he says I'm fucking Jim Duggan,
I would
You're
say-
letting him in.
I would say take a picture with me so I could put it as my Facebook back picture.
I can't leave this 2x4 outside.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I guess you would have to allow him to bring it in. I mean, if he shows up anywhere with a 2x4,
Yeah.
you'd let him in.
I mean, but all right, what if Jake the Snake came through with his snake? Would you let him in with his snake?
Yeah.
Is Jake the Snake
I would.
still alive?
I
And I think he's
no,
dead.
I don't believe so.
All right. Anyway, back to LeBron.
Yes. All right. So LeBron's in Cleveland. He went back home.
Where do they finish in the East this year?
Cleveland?
Cleveland was out of the. They didn't make the playoffs last year.
No.
So
I mean,
where do you see them?
with LeBron? They're the number one ranked team in the East.
He's like their number one.
How are they not?
I tell
How
you
are
what,
they not?
I don't have them number 1. I got them number 3.
You got Indiana number 1.
I got Indiana number 4.
Well, who's your number 1
I
and
need
2?
to hear this. I mean,
Who's your number
I
1
didn't
and
know
2?
we were coming prepared like this. What's your 1 and 2 in the East?
My number 1 seed is your Chicago Bulls.
Oh, Lord.
Now, don't get me wrong. That's if Derrick Rose can play at all.
Well,
He may get hurt in the preseason game and then maybe done. His career is over. What did they get? Paul Gasol? Is that?
Yeah,
they
Paul
do have
Gasol.
Gasol.
Yep, he's
I
down
like
there.
that.
they're making a push for Love.
Now, if they get Love, they're 100% the number 1 seed in the East.
So is Love just
They
not
got
even a
Jack 'em up
question?
Noah.
Because they're talking about they're talking about giving up only I think Taj Gibson and Jimmy Butler for that. Bye, see ya. I couldn't ship them off to Minnesota
Yeah.
quick enough if I'm getting Kevin Love in return.
Well, it's always going to be different with Derrick Rose there. I mean, he's going to make a difference. I mean, you saw that this year.
And they still play well without him.
Yeah.
But they get Kevin Love.
I mean, he's a double machine. He's 20 and 10 a night guy.
And he's like 2 loaves of white bread, man. He's awesome.
So are they in Cleveland though? Just real quick.
I like that.
In Cleveland, are they no longer pursuing, or are they just keeping Wiggins?
Is he cool enough for you to like though?
No, he's definitely not a cool dude.
I was gonna say I don't know
Love?
if he's cool enough for
Yeah.
you to
Kevin
really
Love?
like.
Even if his last
you
name
can
is Love?
appreciate him. I don't know if you can like him.
You can't get a double every game and be cool.
I mean, the man's last name is Love. That's pretty cool.
It's decent if you're gonna pick up chicks, but to be cool all the way across the board.
I bet
now,
he says.
what if Kevin Love came to Cleveland? What if he comes to Cleveland? Is Cleveland still 3rd or 4th on your list?
Then I couldn't get Andrew Wiggins and Tristan Thompson or whoever else they're going to throw in that deal to Minnesota fast enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I would already have plane tickets for all them guys just in case. You know what? I'd even pay for them first class.
Sorry, Wiggins, you got to go.
But we did get you a good plane ticket. Do you want aisle or window?
Well, not to talk so much time on LeBron, were you surprised that he went back to Cleveland?
Oh gosh, yeah. Never thought it was a question. I heard all the talk and I was like, there's no way he does.
Everything that had to do with it was pointing that he wasn't going to go back, except for everyone who was saying that he was going to go back.
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, to me, it's a big deal for a guy to go back home to try to win for the team that he rooted for since he was a little
You're
kid.
just saying that because you
Whatever.
want Kevin Durant to come back. That's the only
True
reason.
story.
Yeah, because he's listening. He may hear, man. Make
Hopefully.
a push for him. Make a
KD,
push
you
for him.
listening?
And
you
I think
listening
Johnny
out there?
Manziel was a Cowboys fan, so maybe we'll get him down the road too.
Well, we had our chance, but
But back
Zach
to
Martin
LeBron,
jumped in the way.
You know,
That's all right. Zach Martin's listed in the top 15 esports rating on Madden.
he went back there to prove that he could win there, prove anywhere. That he can win anywhere.
and he will.
He will. And you got him ranked 3rd or 4th.
I got him ranked 3rd right now.
So wait, who's second?
It's a new team. I mean, his coach was coaching I don't even know what league he was coaching last year.
His coach looked like he coached hockey last year. Did you see him?
Yes, I was like, he might have been coaching hockey. I think that's where they got him.
So let me ask you real quick then.
Do you need a coach when you have LeBron?
No.
You said the Pacers are your 4th, and you said Cleveland's your 3rd, and you have Chicago as your 1st. So what's your second?
Come on.
I know exactly
Come
what your
on.
second is.
You got the Wizards?
I
for
got
your
the
second?
Wizards.
I like it.
Then I got, I'll just give you a quick run. And then I got Charlotte. I got Miami at number 6. And then I got the Knicks slipping on in there at number 7. Then I got the Raptors rounding out the
You're
top
so
8.
excited Lance Stevenson's going to Charlotte.
No.
I don't like Lance Stevenson.
I'm just
I'm not a big fan at all, man. And that's what I about any professional sport. If you have the responsibility of and you're making this X amount of money, get your head on right for a couple years during your career. Mm-hmm. Get your head on right for a little while. Then you know what? When you retire, whatever, and you've built yourself a nice knot, go do whatever you want. Go be a knucklehead.
Yeah, just don't get recorded doing it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, and some of these guys I just don't get, man. If I was a professional athlete and I was making millions of dollars a year, I would never ever have a DUI. Not because I wouldn't get drunk, because I would pay somebody to drive me around.
You prepare yourself for those situations.
Yeah, and I would expect my friends to not let me get drunk and drive.
I think I'd be the type of person. I'm a professional athlete. I can do anything that I want.
Then you would grab whatever balled up piece of paper and
I'd
throw it in a
burn out
trash
quick.
can
I'd
15
burn out
feet
quick.
away.
Oh, you would definitely
See
be the
that
guy that
accuracy?
when
I
you
mean, if
got
I
pulled
was
over by
Johnny
a cop.
Manziel, I'd be out of the league by 2017.
I'm Conway Reed,
Oh, my gosh.
quarterback, Cleveland Browns.
Right.
You really giving me that ticket?
That's exactly what I would say.
Um,
And then I would give him the little money
The
thing.
little money thing.
so what big splash has happened in the Western Conference? We talked a little bit about the East.
Is there a Western Conference?
Yeah, is there?
Duncan came back. Spurs are going to be the #1 seed again.
No, I don't have the Spurs number 1.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I got them Number 3.
I love it. All right, so who's your number 2?
Number 2, I got the Clippers.
Okay, all right.
They were 3 seed last year.
Who didn't they pick up?
OKC number 1.
OKC number 1. But I don't like the whole Westbrook and Durant tandem. I don't like them playing together. Individually, they're okay. You know, obviously better than okay, but I don't like them together.
What do you think? They limit one another, or what do you think it
It's
is?
not
funny
enough
that you said-
ball.
I think that's why Durant's going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, they look like they have the best relationship in the world, but I don't know.
So do you think that Durant enjoyed the absence of Westbrook last season for that long and having to carry the team on
I
his
think
back?
Durant wants to win. And I think he wants to win, and he wants to play basketball, and he would play basketball even if it's for free. He's playing basketball right now somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's
Spain
always
or-
playing.
And he
Always playing.
didn't miss Westbrook when they were gone, I can tell you that. When
I
he
mean,
was gone.
last year during the off season or whatever, he was showing up when like people were tweeting games. He was showing up at these games, like
Nuh-uh.
pickup games. Oh yeah,
He loves basketball.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's like, what is he, 6'9", 112 pounds? But, I mean, when he come out of Texas, I said, there's no way this kid's going to be able to play NBA basketball at a high level. And I was a little bit wrong on that
I think
one.
he mentioned that in his MVP acceptance speech.
About me?
About Chad, yeah. He said, Chad Sale,
Chad
you
of
didn't
the
believe
Three
in me.
Frosted Mug said that I would never make it in the NBA. You see me now?
Hey, I put myself out on a limb lot. I did say Jadeveon Clowney was going to be a bust.
Oh Lord.
That's true.
But that's enough about NBA. What else can we talk?
Oh, you're done talking about the NBA?
I mean, once we get to the Western Conference, I mean, does
Yeah,
that really matter?
There has much change over there. Did the
Well,
Clippers pick up anybody?
the Western Conference from top to bottom is a lot better.
Well, I mean,
But it's just it's so much to talk about. We don't have enough time.
yeah.
I mean, you want to sit here and talk about how old Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili? I mean, because they're probably going to be
well, speaking of
They're
Tim
practicing
Duncan,
right now.
I don't care if you're 72 years old and the guy, and I think it was $10 million.
That's what he came back for.
Yeah. I mean, if someone said, well, are you going to sit out this year or come back to make $10 million? Well, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to say, I don't need that $10 million.
You keep
Yeah,
your
there's
10
no
million.
way.
I mean, who in their right mind would say no to that?
I wouldn't turn it down if he said 10 grand.
But, I mean, they limit his minutes so much during the season, too. I mean, it's...
and they're so deep. They can afford to and still have a good record and a high finish.
And he's
So-
definitely no wine drinker.
Just a quick side note.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the alternate jerseys for the Wizards? The new alternate jerseys?
I did.
You
I
did?
did not.
What do you think of them?
I mean, I'm colorblind, so they all look the same.
He's like, man, weren't they just all white?
I don't care if they come out there in
was
all
like-
white jerseys with no names.
It was like some gray mixed with more gray and then a little bit darker gray. It was really good.
That's what it was.
I liked it.
That was almost a King George Kevin impression.
Oh, it was. Yes, I'll pull one of those out later on, maybe in the next segment, which we're going to be taking a break for right now. So please stick with us for our third segment of the Three Frosted Mugs, and we will be right back.
It's time for a cold one.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of today's show, episode 2 of Three Frosted Mugs. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate it. And last episode, we started out segment 3 with a little game called Ask Steven. And we got such a good response on that we wanted to do that again. And as I understand it, the guys here have some questions prepared for me that I have not seen prior to this episode. Just want to state that out there. So
That is
my
correct.
answers could be...
Do you think if you saw them, you would still... I mean, I guess you could Google.
Yeah, Google it.
Hey, but if he didn't have Google and he had time to just think about it, it'd be no difference at all.
You could give me all the time in the world.
I mean, you didn't have cable for how many years?
At least two, 3
yeah.
college years.
Okay.
All right,
So-
well...
all right,
Well, I guess what leads us into that is that's why we have these frosted mugs, you know.
Oh yeah, yes,
always
yes.
in the cooler
So
last.
last time, to my surprise, just as many of you out there, I actually won. I won the game. So because of that, we are drinking the beer of my choice, which happens to be, that's right, Pabst Blue Ribbon, delicious,
Terrible.
wonderful Pabst Blue Ribbon, winner of the Blue Ribbon of 1893. And I don't even think that's true.
If it was, that was probably the only beer they had in 1893.
I guess I have to start drinking it now. It's going to
Hey,
take me about 20 minutes
Just
to
a
drink
side
this whole
note,
PBR.
you guys give PBR a lot of flack, but this was the top competitor back in the day with Budweiser. It was PBR and Budweiser. So obviously Budweiser won.
I mean, a lot more people are drinking PBR now.
It's a hipster thing.
Are
You
you
are
a hipster?
No.
I mean, look at him. Of course he's a hipster.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what a hipster is.
I couldn't fit
That right there.
This is not it. I couldn't fit in the pants of the hipster wears. Couldn't do that.
I mean, a hipster to me is like me with big hips.
What? No.
You got big hips. So
I'm a hipster. I got I'm all hips.
Yeah, I guess when you're close to 40, you could call that being a hipster if you want.
If you were a woman in the
I
early
call it being
1900s,
fat.
you'd be a good baby making him.
All right, so let's get this segment on the road here.
Chad, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start.
I'm so excited.
All right, so this is the layup
Yep.
for 1 point.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying. I mean, I think last week was fairly easy on you, so we tried to ramp it up a little bit. But again, this is a layup, so it's going to be pretty easy.
I will disagree
Hey,
with that last statement. But
And to recap, how many points does he need to win?
11.
11.
Because 500 is terrible. Who is the Washington Redskins defensive coordinator? Your favorite team.
Jim Haslett.
There you go.
I think I even said his name right. I'm pretty sure. Haslett.
Are you keeping score over there?
Oh, I got it.
All right.
All right, you ready? Here's my layup. Who won the national championship in football last year?
Florida State.
There you go.
Uh-oh. He's hot. Look at him. He's so in tune.
I mean,
Focused.
that was like a reverse layup for him.
Well, how high is the goal right now?
We were playing on a 7.5 foot goal.
All right. Here's my free throw. Who played Coach Norman Dale in the movie Hoosiers? And you're a movie buff.
Gene Hackman.
I mean, he's on fire.
He's on fire. He gets
I mean,
points for that. All
I
right.
guess that's your signature
That's my
correct answer of noise.
Is that whoop?
That's my whoop.
What school did Joe Montana go to?
God.
That look in your eye. I mean, do you want me to tell you the answer? Do you know who
Preferably.
Joe Montana is?
I'll tell you who it wasn't. Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay.
And it wasn't a Skechers commercial.
Oklahoma.
Burn.
No.
Definitely the fighting Irish.
Was it Notre Dame?
Yeah.
It definitely was Notre Dame.
Well, I only know Rudy went to Notre Dame. That's all I know.
All right.
Did he play with Rudy, actually? Were they on the same team?
Him and Rudy?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm starting to think my questions are a little too easy. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, how does he not know this one? And this is a 3-pointer.
Lay it on me.
This is. Do you know how many points you have right now?
Recap. How many?
4.
4 points right now, and I need 11.
points.
So I need 7 more points.
I mean, I think this is too easy.
What does he get for the 4th one? Does
4.
He gets 4 points
Yeah.
for that?
That's your half-court / buzzer beater. All right. Who is the NFL's all-time leading rusher in yards?
Over, holds the record. All-time leading rusher.
Yes.
I'm
I'll
going to
give
say
you one
Barry
hint.
Sanders.
Is that your guess?
Is it Barry Sanders?
It is not Barry Sanders. It's Emmett Smith.
Emmett. He would have been my second guess.
No, he wouldn't have.
Yeah, because he's the only other running back I know. Yes, it would have been Emmett Smith.
John
Okay,
Riggins.
You make a point.
All right, you're still at 4 points.
All right. Well, that was disappointing.
Time's winding down. The clock is ticking.
I thought I had a grasp on that one.
You ready? Who is the only player to win the Heisman Trophy twice?
There's no chance.
Who is the only player to win the Heisman Trophy twice?
You keep staring at your laptop, and I looked over. There's nothing
There's
there
nothing
besides
on
a
there.
blank sheet of paper.
There's nothing. Who has won the Heisman
That's where he
Trophy?
draws his
That's
inspiration
how
from.
badass his laptop is. He thinks about it, and then the Google just comes up.
This is the most
lot of
recent
brain
version
power.
of Apple. It's just all mental. God. Twice.
Hold on. You want to ask our producer,
Yeah,
Matt?
let me get a phone a friend. Matt,
Do not.
just give me a name. Anybody.
Matt said Pele.
Ronaldo.
You got to take a wild guess.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Or is that just an air ball?
I'm gonna say.
No, that got blocked. That's not even get put
Stop
up.
staring at your laptop. There's nothing there.
I know.
The answer just came up. I see it. The answer just came up. And he still doesn't know it.
I'm gonna say. I have no idea. Manning.
You
Peyton
lose.
Manning.
Archie Griffin.
He got so flustered he couldn't even think of a college player.
Peyton Manning. All right.
What college did Peyton Manning go to real quick?
Tennessee.
All right, there you go.
So you're at 4 points. You need 11.
How many questions do I have left?
You got 2 left.
And you have
Worth
to
8.
Oh God. Each
have
one
to
is
answer
worth
both
8?
of them
Yeah.
correct.
Oh,
Okay.
and my last one's a 2-parter.
Shocker. Loves 2-part questions.
Okay.
He can't answer one part of 1-part questions. All right, here we go. Gotta have this. I think this is a true half-court shot. Easy for most people, but for you, true half-quarter. Name one of the 2 players selected in front of Michael Jordan in the 1984 NBA draft.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They were.
Bill Walton.
I'll give you one hint. I'll tell you who it's not.
Okay.
Lou Alcindor.
That Sam Bowie. Let's just say that.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. Just a name I threw out.
You got it right.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Did I really nail it?
I don't know how, but you got that right.
Oh, I nailed it. I nailed it.
That was all net too.
That was. That was.
How do you pull out Sam Bowie?
Over
Have y'all
Hakeem
two been talking?
Olajuwon.
Did y'all talk at the break?
No, you know what it was?
He got Sam Bowie and not Hakeem Olajuwon.
Do you remember? Was it a 30 for 30 they did on Sam Bowie?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Just popped into my head.
By the way, Sam Bowie is Anthony Bowie's uncle.
I was going to say.
All right. So you got 8 points.
So I've already surpassed it. Right?
So 8 is greater than 11?
They were each worth 8. You said they were each worth 8.
No, each worth 4.
Oh,
a total of
see,
8.
You didn't make that clear. Okay, then fine. It's fine. Keep going.
Now mine's worth 4 points, which is 2-parter.
Okay.
Who was in the very first Super Bowl and who won?
The very first Super Bowl and who won?
That'd be the numeral that looks like an eye.
So I'd have to come up with both teams.
And by the way, the Super Bowl is the NFL.
Oh, good, because I was thinking World Series. That's good. Okay, I'm going to say the first Super Bowl was probably the Giants and the Browns.
And who won?
The Browns.
Incorrect.
What is it?
It was Packers versus the Chiefs. Who do you think won?
The Packers won.
Yep.
Because the Chiefs...
Power right.
You scored a total of 8 points.
Well, I don't know what I have to do now, but I lost.
I know. You have to bring beer next week. That's what you have to do.
Gosh, what am I bringing? Coors?
No, yet.
We'll figure that out later.
We haven't decided. Definitely not Coors.
Well, okay, so I'm 1 for 2 in Ask Stevens.
Yeah, not bad though.
We should keep a record of that, by the way, producer Matt, just so we, can over time.
Tally it up.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that. That was a fun game, guys. It was good. The Sam Bowie saved me. I gave me some hope, but
I still don't believe that.
it's.
Did you look at my questions and then Google it?
I promise you, did not. I
That's
don't
it.
think I could read him if
All
I
he
got
has
the
to do
pages.
is think, and I think his laptop was because he was staring at it very intensely.
Something was going on.
But there's definitely nothing there.
Well, all right, let's move on then. I lost. It was very disappointing.
I lost.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Nats. They played the Rockies last night, and I believe they're on a 9-game road trip. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Yeah, and I think they're in sole possession of first in their division, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, they're up a game on the Braves. Now they have percentage-wise, they got the best record in the National League. They don't have the most wins, but they have percentage-wise the best record. I don't know what that means.
Speaking of the Nats, how about Rendon saying that baseball is just way too boring to watch on TV?
I thought that was awesome.
That was
Way
great.
to promote your own sport.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome though. It was like very who was it?
Masson
that was,
loves
I was going to say, how do you think Madison felt about that?
Wasn't it another baseball player who was asked about an older baseball player, and they said they had no idea who that was, but he was like a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I think you're just getting into an age group now where maybe they don't have that much respect for all of the honorable things of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you're going too deep. I think he just doesn't want to sit there for 3 hours and watch baseball. 'cause
all
he
right, I'm
plays it
sorry,
every day.
Anthony. I'm reading
Man.
into your words too much. I apologize.
3 hours of baseball can get a little boring. I will have to agree with him.
I mean, unless you're at the park. I mean, going to see baseball live is a lot better, but
Well, yeah, that's because you
rather-
got a bunch of cold ones and you're out at the park.
I'd rather hear us for 3 hours, I think.
unless you buy tickets off StubHub and can't get in, and
And you actually buy tickets for the next game,
the next
next
game.
night's game.
That actually happened. And I got an email. All right, so we went to the Nats game was last year. Is that right?
That was this year.
no, it's this
year?
season.
This past season. Okay. And I bought tickets, and apparently on StubHub, they can double sell tickets or double book seats. And they did that. So one of the tickets I had bought didn't work, and I didn't know what to do. And I ended up buying a ticket for the very next night.
While we're standing there in line trying to get in, he goes on his phone to
thought
buy
I was
a
being
ticket
smooth.
for tonight's game
Thought I was being smooth.
and buys tickets for the next night's
Well,
game.
what made it worse is I found an email the next day from StubHub offering me seats for that same night because they knew they had double booked the seats. So I'm sitting there cursing StubHub.
Well, you can always say that ticket because you know what happened the next day. Do you remember? Pujols hit his
500th
home run.
Directly in the spot we
Right
were
where
sitting.
we were sitting.
the night before.
But it worked out good though, because what was that? That little restaurant that's out in left center.
The
We
Red
sat
Roof,
out
is that
there
what it
and
is?
ate a big old fat thing of nachos and drank some beer for since from third inning on.
And listen to that one guy.
Worked out good. We had to buy 7 different sets of tickets, but we eventually got in.
do you remember the guy hassling? Was it Mike Trout? He was hassling.
You bum.
Hey,
You
Trout, you bum.
That's funny.
That was cool. That guy was like in a full suit too at that baseball game.
He worked in D.C. He's probably a lawyer.
It's very strange.
What do you see as far as the National League? Who do you see breaking out? What do you see happening in the National League in the second half of the season?
Well, I mean, how are you not favored the Nats? I mean, they're healthy, they're pitching, they're the Nats.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good analysis.
yeah. I mean, that's
They're
how
the
you-
Nats.
I mean, they're the Nats.
But it doesn't bother you at all that they struggle with good teams?
Well, the thing about it is, it's baseball. It's a long season. I mean, you just have to stay up there, be ready for the playoffs, be healthy for the playoffs.
Well, and I think we already had a display last night where they sat Bryce Harper to rest him and had Zimmerman playing left field,
Yeah.
mainly because of who they were playing.
I think they're playing against a lefty pitcher, I think, something like that.
Is that what it was?
Well, listen to this run right here. This is set up pretty good for the Nats to make a run late in the season. Here's how they end the season. They got a 4-game series with the Mets, 3-gamer with Atlanta, then Miami, a series with Miami, series with the Mets, series with Miami. I mean, you get to play 2 different sets of series with the Mets and the Marlins to finish up. I mean, is that not a dream finish there? I mean, of course, you throw the Braves in there, a couple, 3-game sets with them, but I mean, come on, that's pretty good scheduling for the Nats to make a good push.
Which even
right
the
there.
Braves, isn't that more of a mental thing than actual on paper? Because on paper, aren't they having a lot of issues with injury themselves?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, the Braves are the Braves. I mean, ever since Bobby Cox, I mean, they're there at the end. You're not gonna run away with that division.
I'm stealing that, by the way, that phrase. I'm going to say ever since Bobby Cox, no
Ever
matter
since
what we're
Bobby
talking
Cox.
about. Man, the traffic is terrible around here ever since Bobby Cox.
And it would work. I believe you. I think he messed it all up. Well, looking at the Braves, they finished up with the Mets, Pirates, and Philly, so they're pretty favorable too. But
So it's an exciting end of the season coming up, and hopefully we'll be celebrating some postseason play.
I hope so. I'd like to go to a playoff game.
I would too. I
That'd
would
be
love
great.
to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, speaking of a little trip, gonna try to go down to see training camp this week. Catch a day. Pretty excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never been before.
Training camp kicks off Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
Washington
they're
Redskins.
supposed to report Wednesday, and then Thursday is open to the public. I believe the 20. What is Wednesday? Today's the 22nd. Is that right? So the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Thursday. Sorry, the 24th. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Down in Richmond, my old locale, when I was going down to VCU for school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we went down there last year, and it was. I mean, it's good. I mean, you always like to go to training camp and see them practice and just see how big and fast they really are without the pads on around normal looking
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
like ourselves.
Well, what's fun to watch is Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I've been sitting there watching last year's episodes over from or whenever they did the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it was last year. It definitely was. But oh my God, that just gets you ready for football. And that one thing right there. And Jay Gruden, I mean, that guy, he's tough, but he's a player's guy. I mean, guys are going to want to play for Gruden.
yeah.
I mean, he's tough, but he's a player's guy.
Now Hard Knocks they're doing Atlanta, right? They're doing the Falcons.
Doing the Falcons.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting considering they were
Terrible last
Yeah, I
year.
know, and one of the best teams the year before. It's just the strangest turnaround I've ever seen them. And did anything change for them as far as their coaching staff or anything like that for last season?
I don't know about the coaching staff. I mean, they were pretty. I mean, Julio Jones was hurt for half the season,
Right.
if not more. Their running game was a little suspect. They never really got anything going. But I mean, they're well
But you gotta
coached.
look the year before that. You remember the year before that?
Like 13-3 or whatever it was?
Yeah, but look how many close games that they had that they won.
Right.
Yeah.
Atlanta had a lot of close games. Again, this past season,
But they didn't win 'em.
They didn't win them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things.
Yeah, I look for something good out of them this year. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the NFC. I mean, it's going. I just get pumped up just thinking about it. I mean, we're definitely, once we get a little closer, we're gonna have a little fantasy segment. Maybe we can do a separate show just diving into the fantasy aspect because I mean, even though fantasy's kind of taken over for the average fan, I don't want it to be all about fantasy. I still like talking about regular football. So hopefully we'll do some kind of fantasy special. But definitely want to dive into that fantasy aspect of it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I agree. I mean, like, because you can see it. Like, you have, I'm trying to think. Terrell Pryor, right? I had him on my fantasy team last year. He ended up being.
Didn't he get taken over by Matt McGloin?
They did later on. Yeah, it was in a series of events where I obtained Terrell Pryor in a trade, trading away Eli and another player. I can't remember who it was. But my point is that they can have those great fantasy games, and it doesn't translate. It's not the same, obviously, and it kind of takes away from some of the validity of the actual statistics.
You don't know where Pryor's at right now.
I do. Seattle.
How funny is that?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, lucky him.
Yeah, I mean,
He'll be playing for the CFL in 2 years.
but I mean, isn't the good thing that
Getting
the
paid.
coach, right?
Yeah.
The coach, isn't that a good coach to have for someone who might need that extra step that's not made?
Well, he's not going to ever play unless Wilson gets hurt.
Right.
But yeah, maybe for future. But he's never going to start in the NFL.
Right. But what I'm saying, I guess Pete Carroll will be the only person to get the best out of him.
I mean, like I said, everybody when he was at USC, players drink the Pete Carroll Kool-Aid.
Right.
I mean, and a lot of people, because he had already tried to make some noise in the NFL before. Now he's back. People were like, is this really going to work? Is he going to be able to bring that rah-rah to the NFL? And
Well, we're in an era where a player's coach, the rah-rah coach, works a lot better because this isn't the NFL from not even 10, 15 years ago. People get drafted, they expect them to start right away. I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't draft a quarterback back then. A lot of times, even if you were a first rounder, you weren't starting right away.
yeah.
Well, name some quarterbacks who started out as backups and got their opportunity. What was it?
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
I mean, he sat
Yeah.
behind Brett Favre, and once Brett Favre said he retires, they brought him in, and Favre said, "Well, I want to come back." No, sorry, we know what we've gotten.
But
Brady the same way, right?
Well,
That was a
Brady
little
was
different.
a gem in the rough. I mean, that was just
Or a diamond in the rough, whatever.
I like a gem in
Diamond.
the
I
rough.
like a gem in the rough.
he was a Jimmy
That
in the
sounds
rough.
like an old Louisiana saying like, "My name's just a gem in the rough."
Yeah.
That was my best Louisiana.
But, I mean, you
accent.
take, Peyton Manning. I mean, he came right out of school and played. I mean, it's different quarterbacks can do it, but you're expected to do it now.
Okay.
Well, you almost feel like you get left behind. Now, well, some people do. You almost feel like you get left behind if you try to take the Aaron Rodgers route and sit behind the quarterback for a couple of years because you're like, all right, well, I'm forgot about. People don't know what I can do. Now all of a sudden you got this other young guy coming up. This young brash quarterback. Then they might want to bring him along.
Speaking of young quarterbacks, how about Mettenberger getting punched in the face?
God,
Yeah,
what
did you
happened?
hear that
What's the whole story?
So he's in a bar, and down in Nashville having a drink. And even the bartender said he wasn't starting any trouble. Two guys came up behind him. One of them screamed, "Roll Tide!" He turned around, said, "Good luck with that," and his buddy punched him right in the eye. And then they both took off running.
the
what
buddy
I
of the
would
guy yelled "Roll Tide."
Right now, a cool thing about Mettenberger that I read that he wasn't going to press charges or anything. He didn't want to press charges. Just said they were, drunk, being stupid. Which I think that's pretty cool of him. But
Yeah, but you kind
how
of wish.
funny is it that somebody screams "Roll Tide" and then punches the LSU quarterback in the eye and runs away? I mean,
I just wish that he had grabbed like a bottle or like a napkin dispenser and just spiraled it right to the guy though, 25 yards away. That would have been a great story.
Spiraled a salt shaker at right his earlobe.
That would be awesome. That would be great. Okay, I would like to make a declarative statement at this very moment.
A declarative statement?
A declarative statement.
Okay.
a decorative.
A decorative and a declarative and a declarative, however you want to say it. Tomato.
I can't say it, so I'm not even going to
Listen,
try that word.
All right, just make a statement.
My statement is this. I had a vision. I'm pretty sure that something is going to happen with the Raiders this season. Something big.
Oh,
I know,
here
and
we
the guys
go
give
with
me
the
a lot
Raiders.
of
They're going
stuff.
to move to LA.
Maybe that's it. Or they're just going to be even worse than they
They're
were
going to
last
be 5
year.
and 11.
It's, you know what? The 5 is sticking out
They're
in
going
my
to have
mind,
17
too.
homicides in their parking lot.
I just think it's interesting. That since I've been having this little thought, I've seen a lot of things that are like Raider related, signs and
He's part of
throw
the Raider
blankets,
Nation.
and I think I might have been. And I share a birthday with their top draft pick, Khalil Mack.
Are you going to show up to our fantasy draft wearing those shoulder pads with the spikes and face painted?
I may just do that. It's quite possible. But I'm just staying here right now.
Who is the most famous coach of the Raiders?
John Madden?
Okay.
Yeah.
You had cable then.
I had cable
You
at
had
that
cable.
time. I watched a lot of football between the ages of 5 and 8.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, and also side note, guys, just so you know, since you guys were all big on Zach Martin being picked up, he did make the top 15 in Madden 15, the video game, top rated ratings. I don't even know what you officially call them, but yeah, like he's number 15th out of the top 15 rookies on Madden.
Was
15.
Johnny Manziel on there?
He did not make the top 15.
Yeah,
I bet you guess who number one was.
Who was the number one quarterback?
Number one quarterback, Blake Bortles.
He was the
There was
first
no other
quarterback
quarterback.
drafted, so that's about right.
No other quarterback.
No surprise, Jadeveon Clowney was the top rated.
But I was just happy for you guys that Zach Martin made it in and Johnny Manziel wasn't even in there. So I think if we're going based solely on video game ratings, you guys made out okay.
Video game ratings.
I realized last week I'm never playing Madden ever again.
I destroyed you.
I said that about a year ago when my son started beating me at it. And then, once your sons can beat you at something, you kind of stop playing it.
Then you just tell him you don't want to play.
Right.
Not because you're no good.
So
but
the whole video game things, unless we're playing Tiger Woods, I'm not playing them in any type of video games.
well, that's all they do. That's their life. What are they, 11?
Anything that
That's their life is video games.
Anything that requires more than a 2 or 3 button combination, you're not playing.
Hey, and big shout out to Steven and my one son Trevor. Him and Trevor did beat us 2-on-2, 2 straight
Demolished.
games, me and Trent.
Demolished.
Now
I'm going to have a
my
talk
son
with Trent. 'cause-
he was getting over the flu. He didn't feel too
Hey,
well.
There's no excuses. He stood up to play.
Getting over the flu.
I'm going to have to talk with Trent. I'm going to have a talk with him about that.
I-
Well, I guess they don't have to worry about that. Don't you have a park and rec football draft coming up Thursday?
Our draft is Thursday night. They're moving up to the senior league. That's the top league. That's the big league.
Now, what positions do they play?
One's a quarterback and one's a receiver / defensive end.
Studs.
Yeah, the other boy that plays quarterback, he doesn't like playing defense. He has that quarterback mentality.
What was that, Conway Reed?
Yeah.
In
a little
related news, the Parks and Rec Fantasy League is going to be starting this weekend as well, so you can draft those same players on your fantasy teams.
So get ready. Get your notes ready.
bit. I like it.
Oh well, it looks like we're almost out of time. But we did want to touch a little bit on hockey.
Yeah,
you
big.
wanna-
Yeah, never mind.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Go
Conway?
Caps.
Go Caps.
Yeah.
Go Caps. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin for dumping that girl.
Oh, that means the
There's
Caps.
no way he dumped her.
Something happened.
The Caps are going to win the Stanley Cup because Rory dumped his girl and won the British Open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the Caps. Yeah, that's the best thing that ever happened to the Caps.
We're all very excited for what's to come. So we do appreciate you watching our show today. That's all we have time for. For the Three Frosted Mugs, I'm Rodney. I'm here with Chad and Conway. And we'd like to thank Fiat Entertainment Group, our producer / president, Matt, as well as AJ Studios for their post-production and graphics work. Thanks for listening to the Three Frosted Mugs. Like us on Facebook and visit our website at www.threefrostedmugs.com, as
get
well
all
as
that
find
in?
our
We've got the longest
podcast
cheering
on
for 5
iTunes.
minutes.
For the Three Frosted Mugs, may all of your parlay dreams come true.
We've got the longest outro
That was
ever.
the longest outro ever.
We thanked everybody possible.
It was Monday night outro.